from today should possibly show how investors are assessing the result. But I mean, expectations are largely positive. I mean, worst case scenario, maybe things would just remain flat, but definitely not negative.
Yeah, the stock Dangote Cement finished flat yesterday. Folks at Cultural Capital says at first glance these numbers look impressive. At FBN Quest, they says the estimates will be under review. We rate the shares neutral. What's your take at AfriInvest?
Well, at AfriInvest, we're still the company is still under review based on the most recent numbers that have come out, but we have a hold on the stock at the moment.
A hold?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure anyone has a sell yet. I haven't seen. I'm combing the books. If anyone will put a sell, at worst you go for neutral. Okay, but then if you look at, let's break down these operations of Dangote Cement. Nigeria is the home country, and looking at these numbers, it looks like there's a bit of a pressure on the home base for Dangote Cement in 2017 in terms of volume.
Yes, so what we saw in 2017 where prices were actually adjusted upwards, and as a result of this we had lower volumes, but with the adjustments in prices that we saw, it made up for that shortfall in reduced volumes from Nigeria. But if you look at the Pan-African operations, we saw an increase in volumes from Pan-African operations.
We'll talk about Pan-Africa, but let's say charity begins at home. So let's stick at home first for a few minutes. What do you think the key issues are for this company at the home front?
Well, if you're
pricing,
considering the current state of the Nigerian macroeconomic space, we know as at the first quarter of last year, we were still in recession. We came out in 2017, in the second quarter of 2017, we started to see activities pick up, although it's been quite slow, but things are improving generally. And even in 2018, macro indicators that have come out have been largely positive. And we believe this could lead to a further increase in probably demand as well, with the plans for capital expenditure, construction works that are going to be going on. So this volume numbers could increase, but we also have to bear in mind that the higher prices as well could have pressured demand
a little bit. And again, if you're looking at Q1, Q2, 2017, where we still have a bit of a flu, as it were, from the cold that we got out in 2016. And but again, if you put that side by side with what the government wants to do, it looks like, in terms of spending, with the exception of the federal government, I'm not too sure so many state governments were spending massively on infrastructure. Oh, aside, Lagos. Okay, yeah, I'll give that to somebody there. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's in the works. So capital expenditure, the plans for capital expenditure are larger than what we've seen in prior years. So with increased construction works going on, you know, cement is a key ingredient needed in whatever construction work you're going to be doing. So we can only hope that will be positive for the company.
Let's step out of Nigeria, looking at the cement operations for Dangote Investments in Benin Republic, in Cameroon, in Ethiopia, and Senegal. A bit of it to the left, to the right, and to the Horn of Africa, where this Pan-African operation is. And we're seeing significant volume growth there, around 2.3 million metric tons. That's in Q4. That's quite...
Yes, I mean, we've seen increased volume from Pan-African operations, which had a positive effect on their own results. We're seeing even revenues from these regions also grow as well. Some of the companies are starting to break even and even move to the state of profitability.
So this was good, considering the fact that this company started out early to say, look, well, we think we've done a good job at home, or at least we're still expanding. It's never say never, or never say you've done everything, but let's step out. This looks like a safety net for Dangote Cement.
Yes, I mean, if you're starting to see improvements in your Pan-African operations, Nigeria still remains your major market, major contributor to revenue as well. But if you're starting to, if we for instance, have some weakness in their Nigerian earnings, we might see some improvement from Pan-Africans, which should also be able to shore up the results of the company.
If you look at this cement, and we use Dangote cement as the poster boy for the cement industry in Nigeria. If you look at the financial ratios and everything else, do you think when Dangote Cement's main rival, which is Lafarge Africa, gets all its rights issue, whatever is into place, we should be looking at this company as well from an investor's point of view?
Well, yes, our expectation for Lafarge is also quite positive for earnings for full year 2017. With the higher cement prices that we saw, we expect this to impact positively on their revenue. And in terms of their finance cost as well, this was one of the major reasons behind the rights issue that was done to sort of restructure some of their debts and reduce finance cost pressures on their numbers. So we're expecting to see an improvement in both top line and bottom line. Now, the only issue with Lafarge is with the rights issue that has been done, shares have been, we've seen a dilution of shares, so this could have negative impact on EPS. But the jury is still out on how investors could possibly react to this, because if you actually carry out an analysis of stocks in the industrial goods space and even in the broader market over the last year, Lafarge Africa hasn't really, in the domestic market here, Lafarge hasn't significantly benefited from the positive sentiment that we've seen in the market.
Let's trade this together after the break, Let's trade the cement companies after the break.